much of this search for common ground, Jim, is about how we practice our politics.
The largest affiliation now growing in the country is none of the above, a lot of young people. And what I find is when people from the faith community, when religious people do what their religions say and say what they say, two things happen. People are surprised and then they're attracted. I wrote this book to hope to spark a national conversation on the common good. It's in all of our traditions and secular as well. The common good is the right question. It's about what does it mean to love our neighbor as ourselves. That's the golden rule. And that's the foundation for the common good. Who is my neighbor becomes the question here. And once we apply that to the economy, the role of government, to democracy, even to our households, how we live as parents and moms and dads and kids, I think this common good framework could change our politics.
But a lot easier on applying it to our household, taking personal responsibility, than when you try to translate those principles into actual public policy.
Right.
Well, I don't know. I think, look, you can disagree without being disagreeable. You know, and as Christians, we're commanded to love our enemies. Not just our neighbors, but our enemies. And, you know, we can stand up for our convictions without demonizing those who are opposed to us or those who disagree with us. That's what's supposed to be what America's about. We're supposed to be able to disagree and respect each other's personhood and respect each other's dignity and agree that one of the wonderful things about this country is no issue is forever settled. If we don't like the way the issue is settled now, we can come back and make a better argument in the next election.
Yet it seems, Dr. Butts, that is the first thing lost, that kind of stability, in the heat of a political campaign, or any day you get online and see all the hateful political comments.
Well, that's often because people do not practice what they preach. And it is difficult to translate your religious belief into public policy. I think what you have to do, and one of the things I'm eager to do, with Ms. Jacoby, for instance, is to apply our ideas, our thoughts, our ideologies in the marketplace. I mean, the great apostle Paul went to Mars Hill, and he argued there for the gospel of Jesus Christ, and he won people to his side. But then you hear the arguments for the unknown God, or the God that is denied, or the God that is rejected or not believed. But there are things that come out of this discussion that are helpful to both.
Do you feel the need to proselytize?
The need to proselytize in the sense that I want to convert people to atheism? No, the mission, if you could call it that, of the atheist, is not to convert people. It is to put forward our ideas in the public square, and we have had some success. And I'm not talking only recently, but over 100 years, to talk about the importance of science and reason in public policy. And there are many religious people who believe in that, but there are many religious people who are opposed to fact and evidence-based thinking. And here's the point about the problem with religion and politics. It's not that religious groups shouldn't have an active role in presenting their viewpoints, as we all must. It's that all public policy has to have a rationale that goes beyond the religious, because saying, for example, gay marriage is wrong because my God tells me so, or a certain kind of immigration policy is wrong because my God tells me so, or was in the past, slavery is right because the Bible upholds slavery, and as we well know, religion was just as much on the side of slavery in America as other. There is no such thing as religion. There are only certain kinds of religion. And how often it is when people say, well, this needs to be in public policy because God says so.
There's also the
how
problem
much God sounds like our own voice.
Of religious extremism, and of course you have to confront that in the Islamic world so often. One of the other things that Jim writes is that it's important the best way to fight that is by undermining it from the inside, not trying to smash it.
That's right. And this goes back to the conversation that we've been having. We have to recognize that religion is often more a matter of identity than it is a matter of beliefs and practices. Certainly beliefs and practices are important, but it's about who you are as a human being, how you see yourself in an indeterminate world, your relationship to God. I'll give you an example. The latest Pew poll says 7 out of 10 Americans identify as Christian. Now, think about this for a moment, gentlemen and ladies. Does that mean 7 out of 10 Americans go to church on Sunday, or that 7 out of 10 Americans read the Bible regularly, or that 7 out of 10 Americans can tell you anything about Jesus except that he was born in a manger and died on a cross? No, the vast majority of that 7 out of 10 is actually making a statement of identity. And as a statement of identity, it encompasses your politics, your economic views, your social views, your worldviews. It's not just about what you believe, it's how you understand the world around you. So of course religion is going to have a role in politics in the world. And yes, it's problematic, as Susan says, because religion is often about absolutes and politics is about compromise, or at least it's supposed to be about compromise. But what Jim was saying is absolutely correct. So how do we then counteract the negative effects of religion? Not by excising it from society, not by removing it from politics, but by making sure that those voices of moderation, those voices of pluralism, those voices that are dedicated to what America stands for, rise above the voices of extremism.
Embedded in a Christian value, Jim, humility.
Well, in fact, the problem with religion is a quote from Lincoln that I put right in the cover of the book. He says, "My concern is not whether God is on our side. My greatest concern is to be on God's side." And that flips the question. And that leads us to that kind of humility, to ask how we change our views, our values, our politics, our ideology. How do you move past the vitriol, the hatred in our media and politics, and find what's right and what works on immigration, on gun violence, and so many issues? If we could come together and get beyond don't go left, don't go right, go deeper. What does that mean?
We want to go deeper. I wish we had more time to do it today, but I want to have you all back. This is a fascinating conversation. Happy Easter to all of you.